Well, welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight. Appreciate you being here. My name is Dan O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at ActionCOACH in Central Texas. And today I am here with Ramin Jahedi, and I am excited to have a conversation with Ramin here on all the things that are going on in your life, business-wise, things that you've accomplished along your journey. So many things that we can kind of get into here today, and we'll get through what we can. But why don't you just give us a brief introduction? Tell us a little bit about who you are, the business you're currently operating, and just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you, for having me in your show. I really appreciate it. As you know, I'm in Austin, Texas, of course. And I'm in heart. I'm an entrepreneur, and CEO, and coach, and talk show host, and do some other stuff too. But my main business is digital marketing, which is a company that we run, OpticTour, and recently, we have 31 Productions, which is a media company that focuses on personal brand, and we tell the stories through the lens of the camera. And that's the addition to our another company, which is sister company. And on the side, as my passion, I'm a talk show host for Talk to Rami, and I interview for people for why they do, for what they do, and I tell the stories, the untold stories that we all can learn from. Because I believe everybody has a story and we all can learn from. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm talking to you. That's what, you're talking to me. Maybe you and I, we can help some people out there to figure it out, their purpose, their life, their why, and what they're gonna do. That's what I'm here. But it's been great. We are moving and we are making changes along the way. And I work with the amazing people that I cannot do anything without them. But everything has been good, but I'm happy.
That's fantastic. So I'm curious on kind of the journey along the way. A lot in the marketing realm. What kind of drew you to this journey? Was it always kind of the plan to be an entrepreneur at heart and start to build and lead some different businesses here? What did that process look like to get into this realm?
I'm going to tell you a short story. I came here in 1993 to United States. I was born and raised in Iran, and I went to Germany and then came here. I'm a Iranian American, and I'm an immigrant, like a lot of other immigrants. And I started at washing dishes in United States, and I couldn't even speak English. But what I learned during that time was the love of people that I have, the passion for people that I had, and that helped me actually to grow to who I am right now and what I do right now. But after washing all that dishes, and I got into the restaurant industry, I was a restaurateur, restaurant consultant, customer service management consultant for big corporation and hospitality. Then, I became consultant, and I started a digital marketing company. And when I started digital marketing company, I figured out that there is a relationship between the stories and what you put out there. Basically, digital marketing is nothing more than telling your stories out there through the written, through the website, through whatever you do. Social media is all about the stories and who we are. And I'm very good with people. I connect with people very well, and I'm grateful and to have such amazing people around me that they can help me to help other people. So with all that stuff that I knew, I started this digital marketing company, and we are a little bit different because we are all about your stories. Who you are, what made you to be who you are right now, why you're successful, because we believe behind every successful company, there is a person, had a vision, had a mission, had different values that made them who they are and what company stands for. Look at Apple, look at Microsoft, look at Tesla. Regardless of this, the CEO or their founders, they had some vision, they had the stories, because the tools and, techniques is all out there. Social media is always a tool. It's not a purpose, but it's a tool that you can use it right. It will give you the edge. But the story behind it is important. And in our line of work, we have to tell those stories. And my journey was from beginning, it was telling people's stories to right now. And I think I want to die with that. But what makes us different, as you asked earlier, as you know, as a company, is the way we look at people, the way we look at the people. And the journey was very, very interesting and delightful for me so far. It's an immigrant journey.
Beautiful. I'm curious, especially in this realm of storytelling. Um, much of our audience is the business owner that's oftentimes is figuring out how to appropriately market to their audience and tell some of their story. Um, any quick hot takes on how to go about telling the story if you've never actually sat down and started to kind of map out what does my story look like or sound like? Any kind of quick tips or like little piece of advice for some of the listeners out there on how to get started in that journey of telling their story?
It's very actually easy, maybe for me, but it's very easy. One thing that you really have to do as a business owner, it doesn't matter what kind of company size you're operating or you're gonna have or you're going to have or you're building. The first thing you need to understand that who you are as a person. Self-awareness is the most important thing. You have to know who you are before you do anything else. Then you have to figure it out what you're gonna do and what you're going to do, who you're going to serve, and what is the reason that you're going to do what you're going to do. And if you have like a clear answer for all of that and writing the piece of paper that who am I, and be honest with yourself, who are you? Are you doing this for sake of like a perception, what other people thinking about you, or are you going to be that big CEO, or you want to just do it for yourself to help other people, or whatever mission you have? But you really have to be honest with yourself as a business owner. Why are you going into that business? I know a lot of people that go to get education, but they're not happy. I couldn't be a dentist. I couldn't. I can't go, through people's mouths, but I can be entrepreneur. And everybody thinking that entrepreneurship is just 8 to 5. It's not 8 to 5. It's a full-time job. As you know, it is a full-time job. And you have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? Or maybe you can be a second person in that company, third person, fourth person. You can be a great employee. There's nothing wrong with it. But you have to be honest with yourself why you want to do that. A quick answer to your question is you have to know yourself. Before you do anything else, you have to be honest with yourself, 100%, 100. Otherwise, it's going to be a recipe for disaster.
As beautiful advice. I love that. I always like to kind of get into some of the conversations here on the journey of entrepreneurship. It's really, it's no surprise that it's usually an up and down journey. It's not always a positive journey from start to finish. I'm curious in your journey, has there been one or two kind of pivotal times where you've faced a challenge that you've had to really overcome in your journey of entrepreneurship and building into the businesses that you're working through today?
Yes, absolutely. During my time in the restaurant business, I remember that 9/11 happened. And I had an Italian restaurant, 4-star Italian restaurant, 30 something plus staff. And here you go, 9/11 happened. 36 restaurants, they shut down or bankrupt in Austin, Texas. And I was just thinking, wow, what I have to do, what I have to do. And, I'm not gonna give in, I'm not gonna give up. And I decided to just fight. It was very hard to pivot that time, very hard. But the one thing that made me to stay and the one thing that got me going, it was because, as I said earlier, I knew who I am. In my heart, I was a pizza boy, I was a cook, I was a dishwasher, even I was a restaurant owner. And I said, the only way I'm gonna turn around this business is I gotta get into kitchen again. That's what I did. I went back there for 6 months. I cooked, I was in the line, and I managed the floor. I did everything. And I had my staff in the front, but I had to lay off my managers, my chef, and I was doing everything back then. And until today, I'm thinking if I wouldn't do that, I would not, survive. And I did, because I cut the cost, and I worked for 6 months, maybe more than that. I worked back there, and it was very hard. But after I did it, I said, okay, I did it. But if I wasn't ready for it, if I was not doing what I was doing in my previous jobs when I came to this country, probably I wouldn't go through it. Look, I couldn't do it because I didn't know better. But I knew myself, and that's important. That I told you, you got to know yourself. You can't go buy a restaurant not knowing how to cook. You can't go to a tech and doesn't know technology that much, or you know, it is hard. And all it goes back again to know yourself, and you know your weaknesses, and be ready to admit to it. One of the things that we not good at it as a business owner, we are not admitting for what we don't know, what we are not good at. We all say, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, but what are you not good at? Tell me that.
Mm.
And that's important, to admit to our weaknesses and be vulnerable. Because most of us, we're not going to be vulnerable because we think it's a sign of weakness. It's not. If you're a business owner out there and you're listening, just admit and be vulnerable, because that's going to save you. Trust me.
That that piece of advice is probably the most important when it comes to entrepreneurship, business ownership, really anything in life, right?
Anything, anything.
I absolutely love that, because I had I sat down this morning and I thought of a question that I wanted to ask that I think ties right into this. And it's really when starting this journey into entrepreneurship, or even as you developed through it. We look at kind of the core areas of business, whether it's marketing, sales, operations, finance, team, even our own mindset. When you look at your own journey, were there any of those areas that you really felt were your strengths, and areas that you could tell like immediately, these are areas that aren't my strengths, these are my weaknesses, these are the areas that I need to find people for first in order for me to build my business? I'm curious on your thoughts on what that looked like for you.
It was, it's of course for any entrepreneur, it's tough to admit to, his or her weaknesses. And I'm not good in the numbers. And I'm telling you right now to everybody, I hate dealing with numbers. It took me a long time and losing a lot of money to get to that point. And I'm not shy. I tell you the truth. And if you're not good with the numbers like me, or you don't want to deal with it, I'm a people person. I'm a connector. I'm a CEO. I go out there. I make the rain, and people, they have to deal with the muds. All my team, they're telling me, you rain again. I said, yeah, but I am not good with a number. I don't want to deal with the P&L. I don't want to deal with the chart of account. I understand them. I study them,
Mm.
but that's not my thing. And I had to admit to that, and it was tough after losing thousands of dollars because of my own stupidity. and and I learned. Now I do have accounting. I got a financial officer, and I said, hey, what should we do? And I really go to him and her, and I said, can you give me a budget for this? Even I'm a CEO, I can write a check, I can do that. I don't do that. And
Mm.
for some people, it's very hard to business owners to do that. No, you have to do it. If you want to be successful, first of all, you got to hang around with them smarter than yourself, and you got to hire smarter people than yourself. That's not a sign of weakness. It's, I'm going to be here and everybody's, no, it's not like that. If you want to be successful, you got to listen. And I
Mm.
didn't listen, but I listen now, and life is much better because they do what they do and I do what I do. And it's a great team.
Oh, that's fantastic. What would you say is if there's anything different from what you had just mentioned, but what would you say is the biggest impact, either for you personally or for your business, when kind of having that shift, that realization of here's what my weaknesses are, need to bring in people that are smarter than me, that can do these areas that we can operate effectively? What would you say is the biggest impact to either you or your business when that switch finally happened?
The biggest, Relief, be honest with you, is they take a lot of stress away and a lot of responsibility that you should not focus on that. Like me, if I'm a CEO and I have my job responsibility and my job is some certain task or run the company or do all that stuff, run my people, if you're not worried about the numbers or where the money comes, how you're going to do your payroll, everything else, and you have dedicated person to do that, you don't understand how much relief you have as far as that stress that you're not looking at every 2 weeks to say, do I have the money for pay the payroll? No, I don't want to get paid. I want to pay my staff. You are wrong. You got to get paid first. People, they think that I don't want to pay myself. I want to pay my staff first. That's wrong. I'm sorry. But,
Yes.
and if you have the people right there, then your relief is just, you don't have that stress that you can focus on better stuff with the new clients rather than worrying about what comes in, what goes out. For me, relief was huge because right now I don't even open QuickBooks. I just get an email. Hey, you cannot do that.
Oh man, I imagine that clears up even when stress goes away and you kind of have that relief there. I imagine that opens up additional, space in your brain to
Oh my
to
God.
to be creative, to think of what needs to come next. How can I operate a little bit differently? Things of that nature.
Imagine that you go to bed and you're thinking about, oh, we have your outstanding bills, where we're going to pay this, or what comes in. I don't know what is coming, what clients pay. And as you get bigger, the bigger problem. If
Mhm.
you run a small business with like a $30,000 a gross profit you bring in, you have a $30,000 a problem. If you have a business with a medium size, a million, you have $1 million a problem. If you have a 30 million, you have a $30 million problem. The sky is the same color for all of us. From Mark Zuckerberg, from Jeff Bezos, from Elon Musk, and for me, for you. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. We just deal with different numbers. The system is the same. The chart of account, the number got bigger or smaller. The structure is the same. That's what it's important for you to take a stress as much as you can with delegating. And if you can
Mm,
afford bringing people that you can delegate and trust, and they can make you look better and smarter. you know
absolutely. I could not agree with you more on that.
I do
So
have a staff that are 23 years old, and I go to him and say, how can I do this? And he says, are you serious, sir? I said, yeah. Hey, I'm 55. Okay, I went to university, but this new generation, how you do this? And he said, okay, let me tell you something. And I learned. But if
mm,
I'm stubborn and I said no, and I would have stuck, and I would pay the price. Trust me, one day.
beautiful, beautiful. Love that. So we talked a lot about journey, the past, that sort of thing. But I'm curious, what excites you, or what's kind of on the horizon for you that you're really excited for, as you look to continue to grow and build your business, and um, that sort of thing. What's most exciting to you today?
What is most exciting for me today is helping other peoples to reach the happiness that I feel every day.
Hmm.
And I want to tell them, and I want to tell your listeners right now, the viewers, that life is not hard. We make it hard. Life is not complicated. We make it complicated. You have to keep it simple. Simplicity is the key to success. And some of us, unfortunately, we don't understand that. We like to make everything complex and complicated. We can't do that. Keep it simple. And I tell you why. The reason is that our brain has limited capacity. You can't just dump everything. Imagine you have a file cabinet. Nothing is labeled. You don't know what is in that file and everything else. The moment that you kind of declutter your brain, and then you have like a specific files in your brain with a specific labels, and you think better, you think clear, more clear. That's what we have to do, that get our mind clear. And right now, at this point in my life, as you said, I want to help. I want to help through the digital marketing company that I have and the production, because everything is going to be video and audio right now. And I want to help you or anybody to tell their stories through the lens of the camera, which is that will increase their online visibility, personally or professionally, I don't care. It will help through the audio and video. That's what you and I are doing it right now, to help other people. Imagine you and I were going to write all this stuff. And not going to happen. It will happen, but how are you going to write that? But people, they can listen, driving, listening, all that stuff. And with my other passion that I have, my talk show, I can talk to people, and I don't make any money out of my talk show right now. I can tell you that. This is what I like to do, to tell the stories, because I believe everyone has a story. Everyone. I promise you, if I sit with you one-on-one in private, I will learn something from you for what you went through in your life, even though you are younger than me. I promise you that. Because you have stories that you didn't even tell probably your parents or your friends or anything, and you excited to share that, and people, they can learn from it, because you are in the position you can help right now. But we are holding back because, you know what? We think we're going to be judged by others. It doesn't matter what you do, they're going to judge you. And what are you waiting for? Christmas? It doesn't matter what they're gonna say. They're gonna say good or bad. They're gonna say it. And you're holding your back because of that. And my job is to extract all those stories and tell other people that here you go. Someone, somehow, somewhere was in your situation and they turn it around. Now, I want to tell you that you can do too. Business or personal. In the business, I come, people, they come to us. I want to have this. I want to have the best website. I want to say, why? Why you want to spend $40,000 on this and that? You just need $10,000, $5,000. Oh, the other company said no. What are you going to say? What you want to achieve? We're getting famous, be honest with you, for just talking to people to extract this. We build digital foundation. In simple term, we build digital foundation in personal and business for people. We are not selling you a website. We are not selling you social media management. We are not selling you video production, podcasting, audio. No, we're selling you the digital foundation that you can build top of that, whatever you want. As simple as that. It's not very complicated. I told you earlier, keep it simple. If you don't need Twitter, you don't need Twitter. You're a plumber, for God's sake. Why you need a Twitter?
My goodness, isn't that the truth?
It's like that. Everybody trying to sell. Everybody trying to sell. Do not sell. Connect with people. Educate them. And then give them your offer. Simple.
Absolutely. That is such a good piece of advice. And on the pieces of advice, and I do want to be respectful of our time here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll wrap up here quickly. But before I kind of move into my final question, if you were to go back to your 18-year-old self, what one piece of advice would you give yourself?
I will go out there and ask for help. I will go out there and sit with the people that are wise, and I will ask them what question. Do you have any regrets? And I would not do that, because the worst thing in life is regret, and you don't want to have that. I wish when I was 18, I was going and I had people around me that I could go to, and I said, what should I do? How should I do this? And right now in this generation, we have people that, they have a lot of resources, but their problem is not resource. Their problem is resourcefulness. That's their problem. We have resources everywhere around us. The possibilities is all around us, but we don't want to reach out and grab them. We don't want to ask. That's the problem. But and when I'm 55, 18, I didn't have that. That's what the immigrants, they're coming here, they grab it with the horns. They're not letting it go. Because for us, it's gold. It's gold. Every person that I talk to and my mentor, I grab their words and I just frame it. Because otherwise you lose.
Amazing. So, I mean, tell me or tell our listeners a little bit about if they want to connect with you, they want to get to know you a little bit better, maybe have a conversation with you, learn a little bit more about uh, how to tell their story. How can they get in contact with you? Where can they find more information?
One of the platform that I'm very active is Instagram at talk, like talk number two and Rami, talk to Rami, and I personally respond to it. I know I have a lot of followers, but I still respond to it. I respond to all my messages, even though I have a team, and I always tell them that I'm gonna do it. And the LinkedIn, of course, for professional, LinkedIn, but I'm always interested to listen people and help them to tell their stories and kind of guide them. And I don't expect anything. Really, I don't. It's just helping another person because I've been there. Simple.
Beautiful. So with that, I always like to end on one final question. And that question is, what's most inspiring to you today?
Today, what is most inspiring to me today? That's people. I want to go back to people because I have so many people around me right now that I learned from, and it's so inspiring, so inspiring. If I want to name it, we're going to run out of time, but people, are the core of our existence. I can tell you that. We all need to help each other. And my biggest inspiration comes from the people that I interact with them, from my mentor, from even my wife, my kids, and from my coworkers. People are everything to me because people, as Marcus Lemonis says, people, product, and process. You have process, you have product, but if you don't have people, you're done. And people that can make you or break you, and you can learn from them. That's what is most inspiring for me is the people that I can learn. And every day I get to know one person. That might be you, my friend, when we're going to be friends. And I can learn from you. This is not just for, hey, let me stop interview. No, I believe I can learn from everybody, and people are most inspiring things in the world, man. I cannot talk enough about that.
I love that. Absolutely love that. We talk a lot about, I mean, you don't have people, you don't have business. At the end of the
Yep.
day, it's whether it's people that are on your team or people that you take care of or serve, people are the core to everything. So that strikes a chord with me. I love that.
And one, thing I want to add, before we go to your listeners and viewers, that they really have to take advantage of this stuff that you guys are doing, or anybody like us, we're doing that, because it's free. You can learn a lot. It took me 28 years plus to tell you all this stuff that I went through, and we want to give it to you for free. For free. And the only thing that you are missing is just take action. But what is really, I'm asking, this is so interesting that as soon as you put a price on something, people, they get interested. Pay $15. I want to tell you the 3 ways you can build your entrepreneurship journey. Bam! People pay $15. If it's free, they think, but come on, people. It's all around us. Use it. It's free. And learn from it, and, give it to the next person.
Yes, 100%. I love that. Well, Rami, I want to be respectful of time, and
Yep.
so appreciate the opportunity to sit down with you here today.
The
So
same here, my
thank you
friend.
for investing the time and joining us and sharing your story. I truly believe that there will be a lot of folks out there that are going to enjoy this conversation, enjoy
I hope so.
the little nuggets of wisdom that came out of this. So I really appreciate you taking the time, and
Thank you
thank you for
so
being here.
much. Thank you so much. I told you I talk a lot, but thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day. And thank you for giving me your time.